Welcome to True Health Tuesday, and the truth will set you free. Today, the immune system. Now, this is a mythical system. It's not actually a system where you, like the cardiac system, the pulmonary system, the digestive system. Look at it more as an intelligent response by your body based on the stimulus of the outside. So, how does your body react to the environment? And I love this Bob Wright quote. No doctor has ever healed anyone of anything in history of the world. The human immune system heals, and that's the only thing that heals. And this is one of the things with chiropractic philosophy is the chiropractor doesn't heal anything. Their job is to remove the interference so the body can respond correctly based on the environment. Deepak Chopra, the difference between destruction of the immune system and stimulation of the immune system is an interpretation. And that's the truth. It's not really the stimulus. And just think of this. Okay, if you have if you have a joy and a love and the excitement of a roller coaster, okay, your body is going to respond with love and joy and that those hormones to equate that. If you have a dreaded fear of a roller coaster, your body's going to respond. So same event, different outcome. It's your interpretation. Mark Hyman, it's more important to understand the imbalances in your body's basic systems and restore balance rather than name the disease, match the pill to the ill. I love that. They have a big thing for every pill, there's an ill. Okay. And that's it, because think of this. This is the modern healthcare approach, which they look at your body, they check it for vital signs. Okay, which is blood pressure, temperature, respiration rate, heart rate. And then they give you a chemical to alter that physiologic response to bring you to a different level. So they're not going to address why your body's responding that way. Now, there's three things that your body's going to respond to: trauma, toxins, and thought. And you remember, thought is your interpretation of the event. So if you, let's say you had an abnormal exposure to a foreign protein, let's say from, injection, you have a leaky gut, you get a protein that's leached into the system without being tempered by digestion, and your body builds an immune system response or an antibody response to that foreign protein. Then if you ingest that foreign protein, your body is already primed. That immune system is already primed to attack that protein. And you can get, injections to get a foreign protein. You can eat it through a leaky gut. There's a lot of different ways. And then what's that called? It's called an allergy. Now, an allergy is an abnormal recognition from a foreign protein. So it's your body is primed to go on this attack method. So trauma, that's going to have a physical response where you're going to be in that fight or flight mechanism. Toxicity, again, fight or flight response. Again, thought, your perception of the environment is going to control your hormonal response, your nervous system response, everything. And I love this. If a mind misinterprets an environmental signal and generates an inappropriate response, a thought could be enough to undermine an entire system. Misperceptions can be lethal. And think of the witch doctor. I'm going to give you this talisman, okay, that's going to protect you from anything you're afraid of, okay? Or I'm going to give you this talisman that is a curse that's going to affect you. Thought matters. That's why when you look at this, you have a number of different, and it's tough to call it an immune system because it's not really a system. You have all of these cells that are designed to respond to environmental stimulus. And this way, if you interpret something dangerous, it is dangerous. If you ingest something that's poisonous, your body's going to respond to that. Just like the 10,000 generations that preceded you. If you got a splinter, your body is going to release histamines. You're going to mount a defense. You're going to attack that. If your body is exposed to certain chemical stressors, your body could wall it off in the form of a tumor. Your body could elevate cholesterol levels in order to produce more hormones. All these cells, macrophages, lymphocytes, T cells, B cells, antibodies. And this is only the tip of the iceberg. If you look at each cellular response, there's thousands of chemical reactions going on in each cell, and you have 70 trillion cells. So the body's metabolic process is based on a cellular level or hormonal level or nervous system level is going to determine your response to that environmental stimulus. So what is it when the immune system fails? Does it fail? It's like we talk about the cure for the common cold. Okay, the cure for the common cold is actually going through those processes. It's like you have to develop the mucus inflammation. You have to develop that histamine response to wall off something that your body recognizes as dangerous. And then if you breathe it in, the bronchus, the air tubes are going to inflame. They can call it bronchitis, but this is literally your body rushing blood to that area, increase the metabolism in that area in order to solve that issue. If you have diarrhea, okay, this is your body trying to alkalinize the system. Now, if you have chronic diarrhea, you're going to end up depleting your body of nutrients. You're going to stress the body out. If you have chronic bronchitis, where you're not responding with what your body needs, that can cause damaging effects to the tissue. So you have to look at the body's responses and how you're going to interpret that response and how you're going to support the system. Support the system is a completely different concept than what we're doing now, where you're given an anti-inflammatory or a steroid or an antibiotic, okay, for your body's immune system response without addressing the underlying layers, the underlying reason that your system is working. The immune system functions until a certain point. When we examine what happens at that point of malfunction, we see common factors. So what if you're exposed to some kind of pathogen? And normally, if you have a good, healthy diet, you exercise every day, you function within the design parameters of your body, okay, then your body is going to have the tools, materials, systems. You're not going to be producing stress hormones. You're going to be producing life-affirming hormones. You're going to, instead of being an adrenal dominant or a stress state, you're going to be in a balanced thyroid, healthy metabolic response. But when you have a poor diet, sedentary lifestyle, lack of regenerative sleep, and then your exposure to environmental toxins, okay, is you're not going to be able to handle it, excessive mental stress. If you don't have the raw materials, you don't have the ability to regenerate, then your body can have a negative response. So look at the stressors that you're under. It's not the virus, bacteria, or fungus, okay? You have 70 trillion cells. You have 10 times that number of cells of bacteria. You have 10 times the bacteria of viruses. You're a symbiote. Without that relationship of the gut flora, of the skin flora, of that bacteria and your own cellular physiology, you don't make it on the planet. So you have to look at this as an intelligent response by the body. Physical, chemical, emotional stress. You deal with the underlying stressors, then your body has the cell production, the hormonal production, and the nervous system response to respond correctly to the environment. So it's really the underlying stressors. So when you get acute stress, and this could be a thought, a stress about an upcoming event. It could be a chemical response to environmental toxin. It could be a physical response to some type of past trauma. Instantly, your body responds intelligently by elevating cortisol. And in the short term, it increases blood sugar levels. Why? Because you need more energy in the blood to get away from danger. Decrease protein synthesis. Why? Because your body is sending less blood supply under acute stress to the gut. So that means less available stomach acid, and that means you can't break the amino acids from the proteins. So decrease protein synthesis. This can lead to blood acidity, okay, causing osteoporosis, muscle wasting, interferes with skin regeneration, healing, tissue, can shrink that. And this is all part of your immune system. And when you look at the secretory antibodies, which lead to allergies, infection, degenerative diseases, why? Because these pathogens go into tissue that are unhealthy. If you look at pathogens, completely different. Okay, the current medical world is looking at pathogens has predators that they're going to attack you. You got to be afraid of everything. You've got to look out for everything. You got to protect yourself, wall yourself off. Okay, or are they scavengers? Okay, when we do a live blood cell analysis and we see effects of parasitic attack on the cells, I tell the patients that you're not being attacked by these parasites. They have a job. It's your system is an ecosystem. Your blood system is an ecosystem. Your digestive tract is an ecosystem. You are a rainforest in human form, where that ecosystem is functioning correctly based on that environment. So if you know that, like, if you have a tree, a leaf falls off of that tree, then viruses, funguses, pathogens have a job with that ecosystem to tear that leaf down and turn it into soil. These supposed pathogens are scavengers. They go in to clean up the dead tissue. This is why when you have a cold or a flu, you produce these exudates of mucus. You get the diarrhea. You cough up things, okay? This is your body eliminating those dead cells. Problem is what happens in long-term stress. And this is why we have to address the underlying causes of what happens. When you are under a chronic adrenal dominant state, you're looking at a weakened immune system, or that your body is going to have the raw materials to mount a defense. And those scavengers, and I want you to change that from viruses, funguses, bacteria, molds, yeast, candida, all this stuff. They are not predators where they're going to attack you at every moment. They are literally cleaning up dead tissue. And the more dead tissue you have, the more prevalence you're going to have of these scavengers. So if you build cells faster than they break down, that's called health. If your cells are breaking down faster than you're building, or you're building unhealthy cells because you have a high stress, poor sleep, poor diet, poor emotional health, memory loss, depression, anxiety, skin issues, weakness, fatigue. Now, there's certain things that are going to negatively affect your immune system that you can work with. Obviously, you got to address physical, chemical, emotional stress, but look at our environment. Okay, if you have a symptom, there's certain medical interventions that we cannot talk about. You can imagine what those are. We're going to talk about them in the uncensored videos. Antibiotics. Okay, anti means against, bio means life. Now, these are poisonous molds generally that decrease the effect or the life cycle. They're kind of like bacteria birth control, where they slow the replication of that. They don't really kill the bacteria. They slow its replication down so you can mount an immune system defense. The problem is antibiotics aren't specific. They're not going after one bacteria. They're going to decrease that bacteria along with others. And you, healthy human beings, have 20 to 30,000 different species of bacteria in their gut. This is why if you take an antibiotic, you're killing good bacteria along with bad bacteria. And then that's why you look at the side effects of antibiotics. It's anxiety, depression, it's weakened immune system, it's leaky gut. And we're getting antibiotics in our packaged foods, in our meat products. So it's not just taking it in. Glyphosate, okay, this is sprayed on 90% of the crops in America. That is an antibiotic and a mineral chelator. So your antibiotic exposure, where it's destroying your gut flora, and your skin flora, your symbiotic relationships with these with these partners that you need to have, is disrupted. When you look at medications, all medications damage the gut flora. They're going to suppress a metabolic response. And when you look at the effects of the medication, some people call them side effects, but it slows or stops metabolic processes, which can be life-saving. I mean, if you have some type of injury that your system is breaking down, medications can be life-saving. They're amazing. They can pull you from the brink of death. However, if you use them when they're not appropriate, okay, they're going to cause the symptom they're designed to treat. This is why when you look at the effects of, say antidepressant medications, what's the side effect of that? Okay, or the effect of it? It's increased suicidal thoughts. You look at the side effect of muscle relaxants, it's muscle spasm. You look at the side effect of non-steroidal anti-inflammatories, which people are prescribing for joint pain. What does it do? It destroys the building block of cartilage, proteoglycan production. You're looking at environmental toxins, that you have systems in place to deal with those. The getting your body materials inside of it that are supposed to, you're going to be able to break down, okay, because you're only alive because you're getting the proteins or the amino acids from the proteins, the fatty acids from the fats, and the usable sugars from the carbohydrates. If you're eating pesticide-laden food, you're eating food devoid of metabolic and digestive enzymes, you're not going to have the raw materials. So you're going to build unhealthy cells, leaving an opening for the job of the ecosystem to break down those cells. Deep sleep, lack of it. Okay, these things are literally, that's when your body regenerates the cells. You break down and build 1 billion cells a day. Nutrient deficiencies, chronic stress. And what happens? Your body responds the same to physical, chemical, emotional stress. Adrenal fatigue is the body responding correctly based on the chronic stress. Thyroid issues. You're looking at pancreatic overload because that baby's got to, it has endocrine and exocrine function where it's going to alkalinize the food coming out by secreting a bicarb. It's going to regulate blood sugar or the amount of energy that's available to get into the cells. You're looking at hormonal imbalance because you're in a chronic cortisol-dominated state or stress state, nutrient deficiency, sedentary lifestyle, toxic environment. These are all, and it is a recipe for disaster because you're not building the cells faster than they break down. So when we talk about immune system, there is no system that's an immune system. There is an intelligent response by the body based on the environmental stimulus, and it's based on trauma, toxins, and thought. That's why we put the 5 keys to health. Why is this important? Nervous system. You have an automatic nervous system that's based on your interpretation of the environment. One part keeps you alive under stress, the other part regenerates tissue. You need that balance. You don't need to be in a constant state of regeneration because you're never going to get anything done. You're not going to be regenerating tissue. You're not going to be moving your body. So you need a balance of that automatic nervous system. And that's based on physical, chemical, emotional stress. You need regular exercise. You need to move every joint in your body every day. And you've got to have food that you can consume and break down those amino acids from the proteins, the fatty acids from the fats, the usable sugars from the carbohydrates. So that means you need to have food that the 10,000 generations that preceded you actually utilized. It just makes sense. This is why the food has an energy. Sleep. Look at our sleep restriction videos. Do something to change that circadian rhythm so you can get the deep sleep, and then prayer and meditation. Developing connection with your creator is incredibly important. If you don't have a relationship or a belief system that this world is designed for you, that you have certain parameters that you got to live within, prayer, meditation is so important. Just to have a moment to connect with an energy that's greater than you. Okay, vitally important. That's why the 5 keys to health are going to help your body adapt to the environment. That's what the mythical immune system does. It helps your body respond correctly to the environment. Make sure you post your questions below. We're going to do a video on the questions that we can answer on the censored portion. So these will be posted on Facebook. The uncensored or the uncensored questions, which We can't post on public social media. Will be placed on the Dr. B VIP, our private site. So post your questions down below, comments down below. God bless you. Take care of yourself. You're made in the image and likeness of God. So um, I'll see you next week.